Salman bhai, yeah, I'm ready. I think you started recording. Okay. I'll put the screen this way. It's better. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب إله رب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. In continuation of the phenomena of prophethood, which is the second chapter from the lessons of Islamic belief, we were mentioning about the distinguished features that the prophets have in that time and space for them to be considered as a prophet, which also points out to one of the aspects of the miracles of the prophet. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, for example, we said that he was sent at a given time where there were magicians, and prophet was given the miracle of the staff that he had to change into a python, and other miracles that he was provided. That these are the 9 miracles. The other aspect it was of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, that medical field was in advance. Now we mentioned that as well. Now in regards to the prophet is the question of eloquency, and not just the eloquency at the time. The era that we live in is the era of education, of advancement in knowledge and science. So now prophet was given a book, and it begins with Iqra. This points out once again that unique aspect of the Quran and the knowledge. While we examine this, we also see a development of understanding of Tawheed, because Quran is a book of Tawheed. And it's been sent to clarify, to rectify, to point out the mechanics or the precise complication or understanding of Tawheed. That's what the Quran, purpose of the Quran is. So the era or the period that the Prophet was in, and up until now, and as it became the Quran becomes the book of eternity till the day of judgment, then it has given those secrets and principles which needs to be elaborated, which needs to be investigated, which needs to be interpreted and understood by us in regards to this path of Tawheed. So now the Prophet was given that miracle of the book. The author discusses that, after which he gets into the question of infallibility. That is another aspect of very important aspect of prophethood that we believe in, the ismat and the infallibility of the prophet. In regards to that, there, as we said, there were difference of opinion, which we'll do a sort of quick read as well today. And the difference of opinion were that the prophet is masoom, is infallible when he's delivering the message, number one. Prophet is masoom, period, whether he's delivering it or he's not delivering it. Number 3 is prophet is not masoom at all, period, whether in the case of delivering it or not delivering. So these are the 3 different opinions, and within these infallibility of the prophet, we tend to point out to the issue of level of infallibility, because some believe that he is infallible from the major sins, he is infallible from the minor sins, he is infallible from major and minor and mistakes as well, right? So we will do a bit of read. We'll continue from page number 60 actually, where it talks about the infallibility, and we'll try to finish this chapter today, and then we'll have a quick test on this topic, and whoever participate and answers these questions, then we will take it from there, inshallah. The infallibility of the prophet, we believe infallibility to be a requirement for all prophets. All of them were infallible and immune from committing sins or mistakes. Here there arises a difference between Muslims. All Muslims accept to a certain extent. Usually our Sunni brothers accept it in respect to those things related to the mission and message of the Prophet, i.e., they never made mistakes in their understanding or presentation of the revelation. However, they claim that they may have made mistakes and even sins in their personal lives, and furthermore, they were not infallible before they became prophets. The Ash'arites believe that the prophets did not commit intentional sins, but they were prone to committing sins unintentionally, so they may tell lies or even drink unintentionally. So now you have this understanding where the Ash'arites of the opinion that unintentionally they did commit errors, they did commit sins, uh, whether that be even major sins. They were liable of making major sin because lying is a major sin, drinking is one of them as well. So the Ash'arites tend to be now the majority of the schools, Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali. They tend to toe that line. Today we have majority of our schools of fiqh tend to follow the Ash'ari ideology. They follow the Ash'ari ideology. So that becomes a bit of an issue, and it requires a deeper discussion. And these are the things that will bring us closer. And this is what it's needed in regards to unity, where we discuss academically on these issues and really learn and teach them as well. So now, if we look at further in regards to the uh, the issue of infallibility and how they Ash'arites form their opinion. The Mu'tazilite believe that they were infallible. They were infallible. Believe that they were infallible when it came to major sins, intentionally or unintentionally, but that they could commit minor sins, even intentionally. The historian al-Baghdadi says in his famous work Al-Firq, Bayan Bain al-Firaq, Al-Farq Bain al-Firaq, about Sunni Muslims, they believe in the infallibility of prophets. Then he adds that the Sunni Muslims take the instances that might suggest that prophets acted improperly to have occurred between their prophethood had actually started. So they acted improperly before the prophethood. After that, however, we say that our understanding, however, is different. Where Allama Hilli says, truly the prophets are infallible from the beginning to their lives till the end, because the hearts of people do not incline to or believe in someone whom they have previously seen to commit sins or hateful acts. So infallibility of the prophets can be studied in two stages, as we said. With respect to sins after prophethood, the prophets were infallible with respect to these. Otherwise, how can someone claim that he received direct communication from God, then himself disobey God? Uh, so it makes it very, very difficult, for a person to accept the fact that he was a corrupt person. Then all of a sudden, he says that, okay, I'm the prophet, so believe in me, right? What we have seen in regards to the prophet, 40 years, the prophet was with them for 40 years, and after this 40-year period, he claimed to be the prophet, and people trusted him, and he was known as a trustworthy. And he had a reputation. He had some sort of akhlaq, and he was well known for that. And then he sort of invited them to Tawheed, asked them to join on this belief that the Prophet introduced that belief. So it's quite important that they are infallible. They have never committed errors. They have never committed sins. And then after that, they are able. Their message will be of value. Will have some weight. That's another reason that the theologians give. Now, the third reason that they say is that when we expect the prophet to make an error, how can we discern what is wahi and what is not wahi, right? He's giving a message or giving a talk. Is that wahi, or now he's not giving wahi? The basis of trust, the basis of belief in the prophethood is undermined when we open the door of errors in regards to the prophet or sins in regards to the prophet. So we say that no, they were perfect and they never committed an error, and they were protected by God as well. Infallibility is something unique as well, that a person tries and God protects him as well. Like, for example, as we said, we are infallible to certain acts like drinking, and God also protects us from it. It is God who put that hatred, or who put that sort of, abhor against drinking or against certain acts. It is not, it is not in our hand as such, right? It is God who's putting that abhorrence in our heart in regards to certain sinful acts which we don't like. We are feeble, we are nothing. Yes, initially, we kind of resisted. We did not like them. We kind of avoided them. But eventually now we see that it is something has become like a malake, like a covering of our heart from all of those things. And God is a protector of that. And one could really could fall a trap of shaitan, and gradually that covering could become very raqiq, as they say, that when a person indulges in minor sins a lot of time, then he will eventually end up committing a major sin. So one have to be very watchful of one's action, because lying is a sin, period. White lie or black lie or whatever lie, or in a joke. So one have to be careful, because Imam Sadiq says that small lies or small things will make you commit a big lie. So that's why one should not lie at all. I'm not that hungry, for example, although one is hungry, for instance, right? So these are the things that deal with in the akhlaqiyat. So now that with that is to deal with the sins of the prophet, that they will not be able to. That's why things are getting disconnected. I'm really sorry. I should be not using my phone, but I don't have my laptop with me. It's in London. Okay. Now the other topic, I'll leave that for you to read, and then the last topic that is discussed in the prophethood is the Khatm Nabuwat, which we mentioned, and the argument there of the theologians is, which we mentioned earlier, two classes ago, which I will remind, and I'll stop there and I'll leave it for you to read as well. And then next week we'll have an exam on these two. I'll send the questions to Dr. Salman. That is that it takes, if we look at humanity as an insan, as one body, it reaches to a stage where nothing new is required of him. So the same way, the insaniyat reaches to a point where it's prepared to accept a message from Allah, and more interpretation or explanation of this message is required. So Prophet brought the Quran, after which there is a requirement of teachers, after which there's a requirement of people to explain that message of Quran. And that's why, Prophet is the khatm, is the seal of all of the previous prophet. And also I'm adding this because Prophet was so unique that he managed to bring what was required for humanity because of his spirituality. And he came in a certain given certain time and space that further development of human civilization was not required. And not required in the sense that what I'm trying to say is that was given, to him. You know, there's nothing new that they would be needing to to believe in God, even if they conquer Mars, even if they go on a Mars, even if they, you know, have solution for death. You see, if there be a cure for death today, and for example, hypothetically speaking, still the belief system and the belief in Tawheed will not be hampered. A person will be still a believer. So Quran is that message. Prophet brought that message. Um, so that becomes the reason, or another reason, of the Khatamiyat. The first reason, I have mentioned, which I mentioned earlier and briefly mentioned it, that is the reason where the author in this book have pointed out to. I think we will take your leave here with apologies, and we'll continue after the exam and with your feedbacks. Inshallah, what we could do is revisit Tawheed if you want, and I could send you the PDF of that article on God, on Tawheed, to Dr. Salman, and then you could read that. And if you think we could go back to Tawheed and do it on a deeper level instead of moving further to Imamat and then Qiyamat. Brother Salman?